Have you ever watched your whole world burn down? Not in a blaze of fire, but in the cold blue light of a phone screen at 2 in the morning. I saw a name I didn't recognize, Marco, glowing on my wife Sarah's phone, followed by a message that felt like a punch to the gut. He's asleep. Thinking of you. The room was dead silent, just the hum of the air conditioner and the frantic pounding in my chest. We were in our high-rise apartment overlooking the Chicago skyline. The place I once thought was our castle. Now it felt like a cage. For months, there had been whispers of wrongness, receipts for car repairs on a Lexus she didn't own, late nights she blamed on work dinners. She'd become a stranger, her warmth replaced by a chilling indifference. I picked up her phone, my hand trembling, and saw the truth of it. Ola's secret life built on a foundation of lies. And in that moment, I knew my life as I knew it was over. But a new one, a life of calculated revenge, was just beginning. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from. And what time it is right now? It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The discovery was a slow poison. It started with the small things, the inconsistencies that nagged you in the back of your mind. Sarah, my wife of 10 years, started talking about car trouble. Odd, because her BMW was barely a year old. Then came the receipts from a garage I'd never heard of, Marco's auto repair, tucked away in her purse. The charges were for a Lexus. We'd never owned a Lexus. When I asked, she'd wave it off. "Oh, that's my friend's car. I helped her out." Her lies were so smooth, so practiced. She became distant, her phone always angled away from me, her laughter reserved for texts that she'd quickly delete. The woman I married, the one who'd hold my hand during scary movies, was gone. In her place was a cold, manipulative stranger who looked at me with something bordering on contempt. She and this Marco, they felt untouchable, wrapped in their bubble of deceit. I'd hear her on the phone, her voice a low murmur, and the silence that followed when I entered the room was deafening. The humiliation was a physical weight. I felt small in my own home, a ghost in my own marriage. One night I followed her. She said she was meeting a girlfriend for drinks in Lincoln Park. I watched from across the street as she didn't walk into the bar, but into the passenger seat of a beat-up Lexus parked a block away. The windows were fogged, but I saw the silhouette of a man lean over and kiss her. That was the moment I broke. I sat in my car on a quiet Chicago street, the city lights blurring through my tears, and I shattered into a million pieces. But as the sun rose, something new took shape from the wreckage. A cold, hard resolve. The man I was died that night. The man who was born in his place was a strategist. He was a hunter, and his prey had just been identified. My first move was quiet. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who operated out of a small office in the Loop. I gave him Marco's name and the address of the auto shop. I wanted everything: photos, videos, financial records. While he dug into their sordid affair, I started gathering my own proof. I installed a keylogger on her laptop. The emails were sickening, filled with details of their meets, their plans for a future together, funded by my money. They mocked me, my work, my love for her. Sarah was planning to leave me, but only after she'd secured a hefty divorce settlement. She was building a case, claiming emotional neglect, trying to paint me as the villain. The irony was a bitter pill, played the part of the oblivious, loving husband. I bought her flowers, I took her to dinner at Gibson's. All the while, my heart was a block of ice. Every smile was a lie, every touch was a betrayal. The pie delivered the payload a few weeks later. It's photos of them at a cheap motel off the I-90, holding hands in Millennium Park, kissing in the front seat of that damn Lexus. He even had Marco's financials. The man was drowning in debt. It was all so clear. Sarah wasn't just cheating. She was trading up, or so she thought, and Marco was her ticket to a life she felt she deserved. A life I was apparently failing to provide. The trap was set. I contacted my lawyer and filed for divorce, citing infidelity, and attached every piece of evidence. We filed an injunction to freeze our joint assets. The same day, I sent a certified package to the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation, detailing Marco's fraudulent business practices, billing for repairs never made, using unregistered parts. I included copies of the receipts Sarah had so carelessly left behind. The public exposure was the final act. Sarah was served with divorce papers at her office, a high-powered marketing firm on Wacker Drive, in front of all her colleagues. The evidence packet was thick. The photos, the emails, the financial records. Her carefully constructed image of a successful, happily married woman crumbled in an instant. She was fired the next day. The morality clause in her contract was unforgiving. Shkuming crying, but her voice sounded distant like a character in a movie. Marco's world imploded too. The state investigation shut down his shop. He was facing charges and financial ruin. They were ruined together. Just as they had planned, only not in the way they had envisioned. The divorce was swift. The judge, a stern woman who had seen it all, took one look at the evidence and awarded me everything. The apartment, the savings, our shared investments. Sarah was left with her clothes and the crushing weight of her choices. I saw her one last time, months later. She was working as a waitress in a diner out in the suburbs. Her hair was different, her eyes were empty. She didn't see me. I was just another customer, a ghost from a life she had torched to the ground. I left a $20 bill on the table, more than enough to cover the coffee I never drank, and walked out into the cold Chicago air. The silence in my high-rise apartment is the loudest thing I've ever heard. The end.